Whether it's for action-packed product shots or highly creative cosplay projects, the ability to make an object levitate in your frame can add real punch and production value to your images. So, in this video, I'll show you how to make objects levitate in camera. You'll need to shoot in a doorway or another space where you can erect a shower rod, as this is the secret to this magic trick. Natural or supplemental lighting both work equally well, but directional light is going to really help sell the illusion, as we'll come to in a moment. Rather than leaving our model in t-shirt and jeans, we've decided to deck him out in a tuxedo to make him look more like a magician. This shot is effectively a portrait image, so anything from an 85mm portrait lens to a standard nifty 50 will work well. We're using the Canon EF 50mm f1.8 lens on the Canon EOS R. For our shot, we're shooting in a corridor that we really don't want to register in the finished picture. So we're going to use as narrow an aperture as possible, that's a low f number, to blur the background out. By shooting at f1.8, the corridor becomes quite indistinct. We want to keep our ISO as low as possible at ISO 100, so we've slowed the shutter speed to a 60th to allow enough light to enter the picture. To create the magic, first you're going to need an expandable shower rod. Then you'll need a pair of scissors and some catgut or fishing wire. You'll need a selection of objects to levitate. We've chosen some analog camera kit. We'd also recommend using a tripod. We're using our trusty Manfrotto B3 Nerissimo. With your rod in place, cut some varying lengths of wire and tie the end of each one to the shower rod. From here, find suitable anchor points on your objects and start tying them to the other end of the wires. If you've set your camera on a tripod, you can frame your scene and use the LCD screen to check the position of your items and make sure that they all fit into the frame. Make sure to stagger the heights of your objects, rather than hanging them all on the same level. For objects with two anchor points, like a camera, use different lengths of wire to make it look a bit lopsided, so that the flotation looks a bit more realistic. If you are using a camera for one of your objects, tying your wire to the camera strap attachments will give the game away on your finished shot. Instead, tie your wires directly to the fitments on the camera body itself. With everything in place, get your model into shot and striking a suitably magician-like pose. If you're lucky, the light won't catch the wires and they'll be invisible. If not, just take the image into Photoshop for some quick cleanup. Using the healing brush tool, you can just paint along the wires to make them disappear, suitably enough, like magic. The healing brush might struggle with some areas though, such as where the black background meets the white shirt or where the shirt meets the fingertips. For these areas, switch to the spot healing brush or the clone stamp tool to manually select your clone points and tidy up any of these tricky areas. Finally, use the crop tool to crop out the door frames at either side of your picture, getting rid of the telltale signs of how the trick was done. And hey presto! You've made your objects levitate in camera. And, with a directional light casting shadows onto your subject, the effect looks much more authentic than if you just cloned the objects in using Photoshop. Try floating multiple objects, single objects, and even try introducing props like a magician's hat to add another element to your photos. To find out more, check out Photo Plus issue 152.